Kamala Harris had just presented her running mate, Tim Walz, to a arena-packed audience, roaring audience of supporters in Philadelphia. And it's one of the, liveliest, positively lively audiences or crowds I've seen in recent times. I must tell you that the energy, the vibe, the joy, the enthusiasm, the sync, the optimism among the crowd was, you can feel it through the screens. And Kamala and team kind of looked like they are going to be a great team. And some of the things they've said was quite interesting. Of course, Kamala started with her now opening line of hear me when I say I know Donald Trump's type. She loves it. And the crowd loves it. Presenting herself, her history, her career in fighting crime as a prosecutor and a congressperson. That's very interesting to see her now owning that kind of a mantra. She repeats it every time. I think Trump wouldn't like that. And I think he's quite effective with the crowd and presenting Tim in a way, kind of talking about him, his history. He's family man, he's a coach, he's a teacher, won this state's first championship for the school, teaching as well as, coaching after school hours, presented him as a farmer, as a hunter, as a shooter, as a veteran who worked in the National Guard for over 20 years. And in Congress, presented all that he was able to achieve in Congress, working across party lines, and they put it to bring, push legislatures that were, quite beneficial to the people. And in his state, he helped pass a bill that feeds all children breakfast and lunch, so that no children or no child will go hungry. She presented him in very wonderful terms. Also, of course, at some point contrasted him with J.D. Vance, which he said, is like having a professionals playing a JV team. That was quite interesting how she put that across. Before this presentation, I did a video about Josh Shapiro, who she considered and vetted, but decided to go with Tim Walz. Of course, she vetted, they narrowed the list of people that she was looking at to be her running mate to 3 people: Josh Shapiro, Mark Kelly, the former astronaut, and Tim, who's the governor of Minnesota. And she finally decided to go with Tim, who a lot of people didn't know about, of course, apart from people in his circles, people who he taught with, he coached, he worked in Congress, he was a soldier, he is a governor. So people, locally are in that Midwest area, they know him. Now he's been thrust into the national light. And I was actually impressed when he spoke. The way he commanded, he took hold of the crowd, and he pushed the storyline, of course, told his stories, and also threw some jab towards in the direction of J.D. Vance. It was quite interesting when he said that he looks forward to debating J.D. Vance. That's if he could get off his couch. And he said, "Oh, did you see what I did there?" Because he slid that, the controversy of J.D. Vance and couches. he slipped it into the speech, which I found quite interesting. And his story also touched because he told the story of finding it difficult to conceive with his wife, and they had to do IVF, which is a kind of a touchy issue. It's difficult for when married people do not have a baby. If that's what they plan, it could be heartbreaking and very stressful. He went 8 years, according to him, went 8 years with his wife without conceiving. So they had to go through that IVF route. And when they had the baby, he named her Hope. And I think it's quite inspiring to see his struggle as a person, going to school, farming, working, teaching. He said they have four siblings, and three of them got married to teachers. Three of them became teachers and also got married to teachers, which is interesting. And their father was also a teacher. So that line of working class, walking up their way, going to the military, signing up to the military at the age of 17, and becoming sponsored to go to college on the GI platform, which is an interesting story going forward. So what I want to see is how the Republicans and how the general public, apart from Democrats or those leaning towards Democrats, how they react to scrutinizing him. It's already been seen as a peak because of that they was chosen because they didn't want to choose Josh Shapiro, because he's Jewish. So there's the Republicans are trying to paint it like an anti-Jewish sentiment going on that forced Kamala to choose Tim instead of Josh Shapiro. Of course, that wouldn't be true, because they forget that Kamala's husband is Jewish. And Shapiro, who's been presented from what's happening in Grapevine, what the gist they are gathering, people are mentioning that he is quite an ambitious guy. He's looking to put himself forward for a future leadership role. So, but whether he becomes the vice president or not is not just narrowed down because he's Jewish. Of course, there's more than that. You have to pick somebody that you can work with for 4 to 8 years, and Kamala Harris is the person to make that choice, regardless of what she would have gained to win Philly for Josh to help her win Philadelphia. So she's taking that risk to go for Minnesota, which is already a safe state, and she's taking that risk to go with Tim, who so people don't really know. He wasn't on the top of the list of people being chosen. So I think it was quite a brave move that she's made to choose this other team who is not well known but has the kind of values that she can relate to, and as against choosing Josh Shapiro, whom everybody was looking that she would choose, but maybe at the when you look at how she would relate with this person should they win, she chose to go with somebody that she decided that this is the best place for her. But I'm also impressed by the show of support, show of appreciation and respect from both Kamala and Tim. The respect and appreciation they showed towards Josh Shapiro is quite commendable, because they both spoke quite highly of him on that stage. So it's going to be a teamwork. I know that Republicans will want to poke holes here and there, but I don't see how him being Jewish is an issue. Of course, there are other people that are Jews who will say that's not the reason why he wasn't chosen, that it's more of a personal interest and ambition, and how how interviews go. The person that you might have two people that are supremely qualified. You might even have somebody that is even more qualified, more vibrant, but you have someone else who might be more all-rounded in character and his approach, and they might choose that person because they like the person as well to work, because at the end, the person interviewing you is going to be the person that you will work with. So she is the one that this guy will Tim will work with, should they be elected president and vice. So she's made that choice, and everybody should respect that, and I respect the choice and the risk she took to take someone that is not from a safe state, instead of choosing someone in a battleground state that she might not otherwise win. So that risk-taking factor, and the fact that she went with someone that is from a working background, someone that at this moment the only thing they can talk about him is, oh, what did he do during the riot, George Floyd riots. They are just grabbing scores, because of course Democrats can easily counter that with the anarchy we experienced worldwide in that time. So it's interesting. So you let me know what you think about the new vice president, his first speech, his first rally with Kamala, and what you think the comparison, or if he has any weak points. And the funniest part of it is, what will happen should J.D. Vance and Tim Walz were to debate. If they debate, what will happen? Who will win? Who will take the other person to the cleaners? I think the coach is looking forward to doing that battle. And now they are also talking about fights. The Democrats, Trump was talking about fight when the assassination attempt happened. But now the Democrats are also saying, let's fight for freedom. So the ticket is now built on fighting for freedom, fighting for equality, fighting to not go back to the days of government and people not having less freedoms. Also, there are other issues about the policies that they want to push forward, which is freedom to not just choose what you learn, choose what you do, even reproductive rights. Because it has something to do with abortion, which I don't support at all. But as a Christian, abortion is something very spiritual, very personal. People should be seriously encouraged to choose other options, not just kill a baby in the womb because you want to or because you find it inconveniencing. But even in the case where there is serious situation of threat to life, the person will have to really think carefully about, should they give their life for their baby like Christ gave for us, or should they go there? So apart from the issue of this reproductive health or this gay movement happening, their message sounds quite appealing, because they are looking to expand medical care, affordable care, reproductive rights, gun safety laws, education, freedom for people to learn, and countering the issue of what is it called, the agenda for 2020, Project 2025. They are planning to, remove some certain curriculum from school, or remove education board and, change it for something that will indoctrinate children. Any form of indoctrination is quite not going to happen in a society that is looking for freedom, so to speak. uh, they, I find it curious that the Republicans, who used to be the party of morals and freedoms and small government, is now becoming the opposite under Trump. Is now becoming the party of, being more in control, government imposition, reducing rights, restricting rights, and even education. So it's kind of a twist, change of events and change of policies, which of course really happened under Trump. The Democrats have, been leaning towards progressive for a while. So they haven't changed much in terms of their policy goals. It's still about the same kind of policies. So let's see how this plays out. So tell me what you think of this presentation that's happened. If you watched it, I would like to see what you thought of that presentation. For me, it was quite encouraging. So it's going to be a balanced fight. It's going to be a fight to the end for both Trump and J.D. Vance, and now Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. All right, see you in the next video. Cheers.